Well, hello, everybody. I hope you are well. This is Coach Taff, and I'm excited because of the conversation I'm just about to have with you. It won't be long, I promise. A couple of years ago, I wrote a book, and I must say, I'm yet to publish that book. I've titled that book, Challenging Your Limitations. And what I did was I spent a lot of time trying to understand blind Bartimaeus. And so I went in and studied Mark chapter 10 from verses 46 all the way to 52. It's a very interesting passage of scripture, and I'm going to encourage you to also take some time out to read it. Now, in certain instances, I actually ask people to go and read it and then tell me what they believe were 4 key aspects around blind Bartimaeus. I asked them to tell me what they think were his strengths, which is an audit of his strengths, and then tell me what tactics he used so that he can achieve the things that he wanted to achieve. And I also do the same for his weaknesses or his opportunities as well as his threats. Now, I want you to take some time out and do the same for me. But I also asked 3 other questions. And I'm going to give you a quick highlight of the responses I think are true to blind Bartimaeus. But I really want you to do it around your work, your job, and let's see how it's going to take us to the next level. So for me, when I read the passage of scripture, the 3 questions are on purpose, vision, and goal. So I asked the question, what do you think was blind Bartimaeus' purpose? For me, I believe that his purpose, and purpose is defined as the reason for being. I believe that his purpose was to impact the world with the word of his testimony. Now, having said that, I look at number 2, which is vision. Again, I ask myself the question, what do I believe was blind Bartimaeus' vision? I believe that vision is what you perceive, desire to see in the future. And I think for blind Bartimaeus, his vision was a restored vision so that he would follow Christ. And the 3rd question is, what do I believe was blind Bartimaeus' goal? A goal is something that you want to achieve by doing something so that you can be able to create a stimuli, and that stimuli, or you stimulate something by doing something, then you're going to get a response or a reward or an outcome or an output out of your effort. And so I believe that blind Bartimaeus' goal was to seek the mercy of the Messiah. So why is this important to this conversation? I want you to write down for me, using the same framework, your purpose statement. Having done that, I also want you to write your vision statement. And I want you to write down for me your goals. I'm going to ask for 3 big, hairy, audacious goals. Now, having done that, I'm going to take you through quickly how I then want you to carry out your assignment. You see, for blind Bartimaeus, I asked 3 questions for all 4 of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For the strengths, I asked the question, what does blind Bartimaeus do well? What is his unique resource that he needed to draw from? And what is it that others saw as his strength? I'm just going to look at one aspect so that this recording is not too long. I think when I carry out an audit on blind Bartimaeus, that his strength was that he didn't have to even think about this, but he became a very good networker because of his begging And as a result of that, he became very, very streetwise. Now, the next question is, we always want to do audits, but we're not willing to go ahead and do the tactics. The tactics are the things that you're going to do as a result of the audit. And so I noticed that his audit his tactic is that he needed to beg for mercy. And that's what he did. So we know his strength was begging, networking, and he was streetwise. And his tactic was that he was going to beg for mercy. Let's look quickly at his weaknesses. His weakness was that I asked the question, what could he improve on? What do you have in terms of resources that are fewer than others? And what are others likely to see as your weakness? So I'm going to answer one. I believe with all my heart that his biggest weakness was his personal brand. Being a beggar, it meant that he definitely had this big weakness. And again, people just seeing this guy shouting all the time was a big, big weakness. So he had a personal branding issue. And so what was his tactic so that he can achieve what he needed to achieve? He needed to be persistent. Let's look at the concept around opportunities. Again, I asked 3 questions. What opportunities are open or were open to blind Bartimaeus? What trends could he take advantage of? And how could he turn his strengths into opportunities? I'm going to answer one. When I carry out an audit, I think that the fact that Jesus was on his way to the Passover, it meant that was a huge opportunity. But he needed to do something about that, and that's the tactic. He needed to keep his ears on the ground. Finally, his threats. Again, I asked 3 questions in this regard. And the first question I ask is, what threats may have stopped him? Number 2, what was the competition doing or the people around him doing? And finally, what threats did his weaknesses expose about him? I'm going to answer one. For my audit, I think the large crowds were a huge threat. And what he needed to do was that he needed to shout out with a loud voice. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to take some time out. Given everything that I have said, I'm going to share this content with you, my analysis of blind Bartimaeus. But because of where you are right now and what we want to achieve, as your coach, I want you to do the same for yourself. So I'm going to give you an Excel document that has got both my analysis of blind Bartimaeus so that you can understand what I'm asking for and so that you can see how I analyzed those. But for yourself, I want you to look specifically at your purpose, your vision, your goals. Then I want you to do a SWOT analysis that answers audit and tactic. Let me end this conversation by saying an audit is what you have. A tactic is what you're going to do about it. So once again, what is your audit? What is your tactic? And what is it? And your tactic is what you are going to do about it. I hope this puts some context into what we're going to be doing. I look forward to your responses. As soon as you've sent those, please feel free to inbox those in the same format. I'm going to be able to help you deal with that. Once again, it's about your job, your position, not about everybody else. We're talking specifically about your job, your roles and responsibilities. That's what I want to look at. And then I'm going to be able to use that information to create the strategy that I'm working on. Well, this is Coach Tuff signing out. God bless. I'll be seeing you soon.